Well, good Saturday morning or early afternoon on Saturday, Good Shepherd family. I'm sitting here on our lanai with Desiree, and it is Saturday at about 8:30 right now.
Morning.
Saturday, yeah, in the morning.
Because it's light.
Because it's light daytime. If it would be 8:30, it would be dark in the evening. We're coming on 3 full days without power in Grand Palm, which affects not only us, but we have a few other parishioners who are in Grand Palm as well. And so they are without power, or we have some who have to some degree generator, and so that gives them some power. We don't have a generator, so we've been relying on extremely spotty cell phone and extremely spotty email. Briefly got those out here and there. Thursday, we had an opportunity to slug our way through a lot of water because there's a lot of flooding still in Grand Palm. At least now we can drive out, but we got out on Thursday to head over to church.
On our bikes.
On our bikes. We've never biked in that deep water before, and it's definitely a challenge. So we made our way over to church, and I thought I'd let Desiree say a little bit of what we found at church on Thursday.
Well, it's a much lower lying area than our house was. So the church had water all in the parking lot, a lot of limbs down, several trees down. We had to get off the bikes because the water was too deep. When we got to the church, we found that water had entered into the church. You could see a watermark on the outside of the
front doors
and along the walls, probably about like this. I don't know how many inches
maybe
that would be.
8 inches,
10 inches.
10 inches.
Which unfortunately did get into the church. So the carpets are soaked. There's places where you could see the standing water in the fellowship hall. But the windows survived, the roof survived. The building really, in that sense, did
intact.
well. Did really, really well.
Yeah.
No outside water in the sense of coming from windows or roof or anything like that. A little bit, but I think that was leaks that they'd had before. But I think the main issue that they're going to have to deal with is the carpet.
Sucking out the water of the carpet, the flooring. And so subsequent to that, I've been over there and pulled out all the vestments and the hangings on the lectern and the tabernacle and things, because with all the mustiness in that place, I didn't want that stuff to soak into those items. So they're in my house, which still doesn't have power, but at least it's dry, so that should be a better condition for them. I was able to get out an email to the bishops, Bishop Smith and Bishop Scharf, a couple days ago, and finally got an email back response from Bishop Coadjutor Scharf yesterday saying that he has reached out to the diocesan CFO, the Chief Financial Officer, to initiate an insurance claim. So that is good. I finally got an email back from the CFO, from Church Insurance yesterday. So this morning, I'm going to try and reach out to them if I can get a call out and respond back to them and get this claim in place and moving. So we're moving forward with those things. Church activities, we've got a massive pine tree that, thankfully, because the wind was mostly coming from the north, it dropped into the garden, and not onto the church, because it would have really done damage if it had gone the other direction. And a palm tree in there as well. And so church services Sunday are definitely off. We probably can't even get in, won't be able to even get in there for a lot of folks because there's still standing water. However, yesterday, Friday, Desiree and I went over to the Fee's house, and I grabbed my Alb and
Maybe we can
Cincture.
upload a video, because I did take a video of Joe slogging his way out of the parking lot with all of the...
With my vestments and with the chalice and paten and such. So we did have a communion service, so that will be online and available for Sunday tomorrow.
If you have
for
internet.
you all, if you have access to internet and such. And following Monday, coming up on Monday, was going to be celebrating Feast of St. Francis and Pet Blessing. Obviously, definitely out. That's not happening. So Sunday's off, Monday's off. We'll see what happens come Thursday activities and Wednesday activities. I would say at this point they're off, because I'm not sure when we're going to get this claim going and get ServPro or whoever it is in to clean up the carpets and such. So probably this next week's activities are off. We will keep you updated. Hopefully some of you have power. It's been a concern of mine. For those of you who may be a little bit more physically vulnerable or in your home setting vulnerable, being isolated from folks, that's been a concern to me that we've put out and said, if you've got concerns, things come up, reach out to us. Well, unfortunately, because I've been without power, you've not been able to reach out to me. I've not been able to see any emails that have come in, voice messages that have come into the church. Hopefully there's Father Bob's been in a better situation, or Deacon Michael, I'm not sure. So we just kind of take this day by day, and thankfully the weather has been cooler. And so we've not been sweltering in our home. Right. We actually, one of our next door neighbors, because his meat was about to go bad, he cooked up a barbecue, and we had all kinds of meats and hung out as neighbors last night, and had a good time as best you can in that kind of setting. So we trust that God's blessings will be with you the rest of this day, and hopefully soon our power will be back on and we can have internet and kind of access the world out there better and see what's going on. We have been able to drive out. It gets quite deep under our vehicle at spots getting out of Grand Palm, but we are able to get out, and so that's good. We're going to go out this morning, and we've heard that there's ice at the Kia dealership at the roundabout, and so we're going to go over there, see if we can get over there if the line's not insanely long. Who knows? And see about that. Well,
by then, most of our food will probably be bad anyway.
But at least we'll have some ice.
Yeah.
Well, may God's blessings be with you this day, and be safe. And we had one of our neighbors that apparently was up on a ladder and fell and broke some bones, and so that's a concern during this time if you're trying to get on ladders when don't have the best balance. So be very careful and be very safe, and we will be in touch as best we can. God's blessings.